Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
When we didn't believe, they did. When we thought they were tanking and selling, they bought in. We wrote them off. They wrote history. We detached. They bonded. We thought their World Series window was sealed shut. But you know what they did? They took a sledgehammer to it. Mike, what in the actual F is going on with this baseball team?
This is magical. That's like the only word I can do. This is absolutely insane. I'm loving it. I could not be happier. Goosebumps, cuz. Goosebumps with that. This is amazing.
I think that's the best way to describe it. There's really no words to describe what's going on right now, but all I can say is, like, yeah, I've had multiple goosebumps over the last, I can't even tell you how long, watching this team.
And that intro from AJ Hinch, I don't know who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
the Tigers get hot.
Oh, I watched that so many times. Just goosebumps every time. It's just, I don't even, you're right. There's almost no words to describe what is happening right now. We're in the playoffs. And we just swept.
We just won a playoff series.
Won a playoff series. First time we won a playoff series in 11 years.
Yep. The last, you know who the last manager was? Mr. Jim Leland.
Yeah.
2013.
It's just.
That's crazy. We just ended Houston's 7th consecutive ALCS streak, which I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched a ton of playoff baseball in the last few years, but I saw that and I'm like, holy crap. So, and you know what? Yesterday's game, like when the Tigers rallied, when they inserted Ibanez in and hit that bases clearing triple, you just seen the Astros. They're like, all right, we're done. They saw a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, we're done. That's it. Enough.
They looked defeated.
They did.
They looked defeated. You knew it. They weren't coming back from that.
Nope. Enough's enough. They're like, all right, that's it.
And, the Tigers made it a little bit less stressful yesterday after getting that hit than they did in game one.
Yeah.
I mean, up 3-0, all of a sudden 3-1, bottom of the ninth. I mean, bases loaded, 2 outs.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
The guy rips that shot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Torque.
Yeah.
Thank God you had your glove ready for that one.
Oh, I know. When that ball jumped off the bat, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. This is going down the line. This is the game. You know what I mean? That was going to be a 4-3, and I see Torque fist bumping. I'm like, oh, my God. Wow. That was crazy. It sucks Foley coming in. He's been so good this year. He just didn't have it, but Brisky coming in and sealing that door shut was awesome.
It was great. It was so much fun. Astros didn't know what hit them. I've been saying this to a lot of people, and I'll say it right here. We are the scariest team in the playoffs right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Every team should be scared of us because we have nothing to lose. We're not supposed to be here.
Right. Absolutely.
We're not supposed to be. I mean, 0.20% chance.
Right.
to get here. As of August 11th, and now we're here. We're in it.
Yep. I'm going to quote Valeni on this, but Fangraphs will still have us at a 94% chance to make the playoffs. I heard that. I started laughing, but yeah, no, it was. It's just it's magical. You can't really like produce like hard facts to like, oh, this is why the Tigers are winning. I mean, they're obviously playing good baseball, but they're just.
But it's somebody new every day.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
We were talking about this during our show prep. We're the only team ever to make the playoffs where you don't have somebody with over 25 home runs. Mm-hmm. You don't have somebody with over 75 RBIs. I don't remember what the stolen base number is, but we're the only team to ever do that. You always at least have one person, right? One all-star, even though we have all-stars on our team that have numbers like that, and we don't. And everybody doesn't know who this team is. And we're just coming in and beating everybody.
I know, right? There's some weird history going on with this team, and then like the one we were talking about too with the we're the 4th team.
Yeah,
I think being like 110 games in, being what were we 10 games out or 8 games out to make the playoffs and then win a playoff series. All those teams went on to win the World Series.
Yes,
the 2011
Cardinals,
yep.
The 69 Miracle Mets,
yep,
and the 1964 Cardinals.
Right. Man, the Cardinals, man, they've had some success, huh?
Well, and you know what? I don't mean to open up sore wounds or anything, but in 2006, the Cardinals were a wild card team that beat us. And some way the Cardinals always find a way to get into the playoffs
and make noise
and win a World Series. I mean, 2006, 2011. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do want to mention because I know the first series is over, but. You talk about magical. I was downtown for the last Friday night's game.
Yeah. Oh, when they clinched.
To clinch.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this city needed this team to go. I mean, it's a good time to be a Detroit sports fan.
It sure is.
I mean, being down there, the last out in the streets, filled with people, hooting and hollering, everyone having a good time, everybody high-fiving, hugging each other. I mean, everybody was excited, and it was really something to see.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to experience that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. You sent us the videos and stuff like that. That was really neat. And it's crazy because the Tigers are taking the spotlight away from the Lions, which I never would have thought.
Right.
And rightfully so. I mean, they're defying history right now, and they should be getting all the attention and credit because
and my opinion is playoffs will always trump regular season.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
Especially playoff baseball.
And you know what? And we are taking some of the attention away from the Lions, but in the defense of the Lions, you play once a week.
Yeah.
Right? So we can have this. I mean, Tigers are playing multiple times a week, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're off this Sunday, but come Sundays, yes, we're all going to be focusing on the Lions.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Yeah, the Tigers deserve this. They're in the playoffs, and they shouldn't even be there right now.
And
that's why it's so magical.
It actually works out really good with the Lions being on the bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. But, yeah, I mean, give me some of your just from this series in general. Let's just take this series, not this whole crazy month and a half. What did you take away?
Everybody knows what we did to get in here. Yeah.
But what did you take away from the series that maybe stood out to you compared to I guess other being in the playoffs? What stood out to you with this team?
Well, the one thing I want to mention, because I heard this stat and I thought this was absolutely wild, and I think this just shows what these kids are proving and what they're capable of doing, is coming into this series.
Mm-hmm.
We had 8 total between our whole team, 8 total playoff game experience. They were all one player, Matt Vierling, when he played with the Phillies.
We have 12 rookies on the roster.
Yeah.
12 rookies.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
I don't know if that's ever happened for a playoff team. Now, we go and we play the Astros. Everybody knows Astros are good. So we had 8 games total between our whole team. 1,000 games, over 1,000 games between all of the Astro players.
That's absurd.
You could tell they have the experience. And we walk into their house and get 2 dubs.
Right in a row.
And sweep them.
Yeah.
You can't write this.
No. Absolutely just amazing.
But to your question, it's just seeing that these kids, they just want to play ball.
Yeah.
Right? They don't get intimidated by going against an Astros team that went 7 years in a row to the ALCS, right? They don't get flustered by seeing the big names, right? That are on the other team, Altuve and Framber Valdez, right? All these other, they don't get shaken up by this. They go in, they play their game, and for being so young, 12 rookies on a team, you don't know who's the hero is going to be that game,
right?
But somebody always comes through in clutch situations, and that is. You have no idea who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody want to pinpoint, I think it's going to be Riley Green. No, it's Andy Ibanez.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be, Young. Nope, Parker Meadows is going to hit the home run.
Yeah,
and you have no idea who's coming through.
Yeah, and I think that's a credit to Hinch, just being able to push the right buttons, keeping these kids locked in and keeping them playing carefree baseball.
The man's a genius.
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable to watch, and he's really had to come with a progressive approach to this because they've been so shorthanded with just having starting pitchers. So they just kind of overloaded with random arms.
What starting pitchers are 2 that we have?
Right. But they just keep bringing these guys up from Toledo or whatever and finding them wherever, and then they just insert them, and then they're just freaking – like a lot of these guys, if you go and look at their stats from the minors and that, they're not very good.
No, they're not. You wonder why they even made it up here.
Right. And it's just – I mean, look at where a lot of these guys were drafted too. I mean, it's just – Foley was an undrafted free agent. I think Brisky was a 27th round pick. Vest was a 12th rounder. Just insert him into the system, get him here, and then we'll figure out how to use him and where to place him. And I think that's just been amazing.
And I really think when you go back to the trade deadline and we're sellers, we're kind of giving up on the season. So let's bring up these young kids. Let's see what they got. And I think these kids banded together and we're like, F that. Yeah. We're going on a run. Watch this.
Right.
You're going to write us off?
Right.
I mean, even you and I said, we're done talking about the Tigers on the podcast because it's a bad product. And then as soon as we say that,
Right.
they're off and running.
It seems like they just kind of had this approach that, like, like metals and torque being kind of up and down. And I'm sure Hinch, to a degree, too, it just kind of had enough. It just seems like these guys just had the approach like, you know what? We have nothing to lose. Enough is enough. Let's just get it. And they did. And, it seems like it took them to sell in order for them to bond, because they know, like, this is the group. You know what I mean? This is the group that's going to be here. And it's clicking. What else can you say?
Thank God we didn't get rid of Skubal.
Oh,
Thank God.
right?
I mean,
yeah.
he's a lock for the Cy Young, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's no way that he's not getting that.
Yeah, he won the Triple Crown.
Won the Triple Crown. Having a hell of a season.
Yeah. And Hinch, if Hinch doesn't win Manager of the Year, then you know what? Then these writers or whoever just have not watched Tigers baseball at all.
No, and you know what? I mean, look at watching the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they don't even know who we are.
No.
Listen to those announcers. They're like, oh, yeah, here comes, so-and-so.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just tell they were flustered with I don't think they had an explanation.
And it's
of what
probably
this
why
team
they
was doing,
talked
too.
about Houston so much during the broadcast.
Yeah, there's names. There's names on that team.
They're all big names. I mean, Jose
Big
Altuve
payroll.
was playing in his 104th, 105th
That's
playoff
That's
game.
crazy.
Half of our team didn't even play 100 games this year.
Right.
That's what it's crazy. But it's been fun.
Most of these kids were probably still in grade school when they made that run in 2017.
Oh yeah,
7 years ago. Just
Oh,
about
yeah.
okay, high school.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, because I think the average age of our team is what, 24.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They're playing high school ball
Yeah.
back when Houston's making their runs.
Yep.
It's wild.
It is very wild. It's cool. I think the one thing that really, like you were kind of saying, like, how this team responded against a very veteran-led team in Houston. Like, you saw it happen so many times that, like, Houston would kind of get something going, and then all of a sudden they'd hit into it. Like, we would turn a double play.
Yeah.
We would just like, nope, you guys are done. You know what I mean? I think that's what really stood out to me in this series, was just that able to cut them off when we needed to. That we didn't allow that inning when Job came in. That could have got really ugly.
Yeah.
Just a couple of fluke plays. Like, I'm not really blaming a lot of that on Job, but
No, well, they didn't hit him hard.
no,
It was a bloop single.
the hitting the batter that sucked. You know what I mean? I don't, and I
He's
still don't
22
agree with.
years old.
I know you got to give him some reps.
He only played 4 innings
I know,
all season.
and I think when did they call him up to AAA? I think it was in either end of August, whatever, at beginning of September is when he was still in AA.
Yeah.
up until that point. So I mean,
And then he gets a playoff game.
you're right. Like,
playoff
here, hey,
appearance.
1-0 kid, 7th inning. Good luck. So
Throwing him to the wolves. I mean,
yeah,
and I'm not questioning AJ Hinch because he has done wonders with this team. You can't question him. I mean, would I have put Job in? No, but you know what? Why not? Everything else seems to be working for us this year.
Yeah.
Put in whoever you want. I mean, it's what's he call it? Pitching chaos.
Right. Yeah, I was not a fan of the decision to bring him in, but you know what? I think it also goes to show you that Hinch is very confident. Like, hey, let the kid go and face his 3-4 batters if it gets out of control, and then I'll bring in who came in, Brisky. Yeah, Brisky came in, or Gunther. Gunther came in. Brisky was before him. Gunther came in and just shut him down
and bailed him out. Yeah,
yeah, and so that was big. So I mean, obviously we lost a lead in that inning, but I think Hinch just knew, like, I'll let this happen. Bring my bullpen in. They'll shut it down. We'll come through. I trust my guys. And what did he do?
And for Hinch to be such a veteran manager in baseball and to give these kids like Job or anybody else on the team a chance to get in there is surprising. You get a lot of these older managers, and I think Leland was one of those guys that's like, not playing the young kids.
Yeah.
Right? They're not ready. And Hinch,
That's
as
a
a
good point.
veteran manager,
good point.
he's taking a chance on these kids,
Yeah.
and the kids are proving that Hinch is making the right decisions.
Right. I think they know that he has a lot of confidence in him, and for a young player, that's huge. You know what's crazy? Hinch, I think, was a psychology major.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's what he's kind of doing now.
And baseball is a very mental sport.
For sure. Absolutely.
I heard this interview with Kerry Carpenter, and they asked him, they're like, because he only bats against lefties or whichever one it is.
Right-handed, yep.
Only bats it. And so they asked him, like, have you gotten on Hinch? Have you asked him, like, hey, can I get in on some more lefties? And, his response was like, he's like, I would love to play every inning, every game up against lefties. Like, that would be great. But I'm not questioning AJ Hinch. He knows what he's doing. He's like, I'm ready whenever he wants to put me in.
Yeah.
The next guy on the bench is ready to go in. And if you're coming out, you know exactly why you're coming out. Hinch knows what he's doing. And it's like these guys have, all their trust in him.
Yeah.
And they don't care if they get one inning or one at bat or it doesn't matter. They're going to do whatever is asked of them. And I think that's why this team, part of the reason why this team is gelling so well is they're all there. They just want to win.
For sure.
All they want to do is win. They don't care how they do it. Just win.
Right. And I also think, too, that's getting overlooked a little bit is with, like, how, like, you brought up the pitching chaos. Well, how about the lineup chaos? Like, the first.
Oh, yeah.
How about the first game? They had Ibanez batting cleanup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if he's batted cleanup this year. I'm sure he
have
hasn't
no
much
idea.
there, but left-handed hitter, right? Or I'm sorry, left-handed pitcher. So you bring in Ibanez. No Carpenter in the lineup.
No.
You had Meadows buried in the lineup, which actually helped them because later in that game he beat out I think he beat out a double play.
Yeah.
And he ended up scoring. So it's just pushing those little buttons and just knowing exactly what to do, keeping the other team off their how do you plan for this? You don't know who's pitching, who's coming in next. Like, it's just constant.
Nobody's a set 1 through 9. I think the only person that you could say is a set, like, number 2 or 3 hitter would be Riley Green.
Yeah, he's always going to be in there, yeah.
Everybody else is, you have no idea where they're going. And you've seen it in those first 2 playoff games. You've seen it the whole last 30, 40 games of the season. You have no idea where you're hitting.
Yeah.
You'll be in the lineup, but you don't know. And you're right. How do teams plan for that?
Yeah, no, I think it keeps other teams really on, especially these older teams that aren't used to it, and these other managers who just do not know how to counter.
Well, when you look at like a typical lineup, right? You get, your 1, 2, 3, then the heart of the order, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9 are usually your worst hitters. But when you got Parker Meadows batting leadoff, hitting home runs, and then you put him at 9th, hitting home runs, and then anywhere else in between, and same with all the other guys. How do you plan for that? You can't play for that.
Right. Yeah, he's playing the matchup game, and he's doing a masterful job of it. But the thing is, he had to. He could have cashed it in when this team, sold off all their veterans, but like he just okay, I'm going to work with what I got, and I'm going to figure out the matchups, and credit to the farm system and the drafting and just the developing of these guys. Like, it's okay if you're a specialist, but if you can come in and produce in certain key situations, well, then you're going to win a lot of baseball games. And
you wanted to give a shout out to somebody that most of us hate in this city for what we thought he did to the team, but
Al Avila deserves a lot of credit. I know that the problem with him, what sunk him, I'll start off with this. What sunk him was his free agency picks.
Yes.
And the trades or lack thereof. But, I mean, just listen to this. Okay, so Skubal, these are all guys that were drafted by Avila. And I think Avila deserves some credit, too, with helping reshape the minors a little bit. But
absolutely.
Skubal, 9th round. Green, Meadows, Keith, 5th rounder pick. Carp, 19th round. Young, Torque, Mize, Job, Brisky, 27th round. Vest, 12th round. And Foley was signed as an undrafted free agent in 16th. These are all major contributors to this team.
They're the ones helping us right now. So,
right.
You got to get hats off to Avila on that.
He's done some good things. It just,
But I think that all gets overlooked, to your point, because of the free agency.
It does.
Of bringing in of Baez, with Zimmerman.
Yeah.
It's just, it didn't work.
Yeah. And then the whole Fulmer situation, letting that, you know what I mean? It was a bunch of those, and he just really crapped the bed onto those, and that's what sunk him. And it's just so funny that it took, I don't wish any ill will on anybody. I hope he gets healthy. Baez, it just took him in that spot opening up, and in order for us to really make this run, I think that was a major.
I mean, he'll never put on a Old English D again, right? I mean, there's no way that you can have him do it. And I'm not. And everybody knows how I feel about him, but I'm not even coming at him like that. I'm just actually saying Scott Harris said, I'm not going to block anybody, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we didn't go spend a lot of money this year.
Right,
not going to block anyone. If you bring Baez back, you're blocking Trey Sweeney.
Yeah.
Who's Trey Sweeney? Oh, well, look what he's been doing on this team.
Right. I mean, he's obviously, it's crazy. He's an upgrade at the plate, not by much, but defensively he's been key, and he's had some key hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So again, I'm not Baez bashing like I normally do. I'm actually just saying
he's just not a fit on this team.
No. Oh, he's won 2 World Series, or at least 1 World Series.
a fantastic player.
He could go somewhere. Maybe he just needs to change the scenery.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot in sports. I mean, we could bring up a number of guys just going to another team rejuvenates their career.
And because what did he go down with? A hip injury?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say this has been lingering, right? Well, that explains why he's been a ceiling fan at the plate. You know what I mean? And maybe he's been dealing with that. And hopefully he figures it out. But it's not with this team. You know what I mean? It's just not a fit here. But
The only thing
I wish
that
him.
sucks
I
is
wish
we're
him
going to have to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're going to have to Bobby Bonilla him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's. If I'm looking at the offseason, that should be really the only move this team should make. I know the Bregman stuff gets talked about a little bit, but it's just let's see what happens too. So, yeah, no.
I'm going to circle back to that. Do you think Bregman's a candidate to come here for third base? They did say yesterday in the game that yesterday might have been his last game as a Houston Astro because he hits the free agency market.
I know, yeah, and Altuve was really selling him to come back. He's a fantastic player. I
How
think,
old is he now? I mean, I know he's not old, but you know what I mean. Like,
I think if I did look it up, and I thought he was 31.
Okay, so he's
31,
still
32?
right. He's still right there. Okay,
Let me
he's a good player. Well, because you bring him in, who he would be taking Young's place?
He's 30.
So he's still in his prime right
yeah,
now.
He's 30. Yep.
So that's Jace Young.
Yeah.
But is Jace Young really a third baseman for us?
Well, see, you bring up a good point because if they were going to bring Bregman in, you'd have to move probably Young to his true position, which I think was second base.
Okay, where do you put Colt?
Colt Keith probably goes to first.
Where do you put Torque?
Right, and then
I mean, I get
exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't.
So where's everybody else? And that's why, beginning of this season, right? We're always talking. You didn't sign anybody. Why didn't you go get Chapman? Why didn't you go after Cody Bellinger?
Mm-hmm.
I forget the other guy that was out there that they didn't go after. And
JD,
thank you, JD Martinez. Why didn't you go get him? Scott Harris. We're not blocking anybody. And I get it. It all makes sense now.
yeah,
So now I even understand it more next year. Okay, is the core here? I'd say so.
mm-hmm.
Right? Is everybody on this team right now, even on this magical run, going to be here in the long run in the future? Probably not.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Sure.
But who are where do the veteran spots fit? Right? Is it a Bregman? Not saying that that's who I want, but is it a Bregman at third?
Yeah.
Do you want to go get a veteran outfielder? I think right away, I think everybody would agree, veteran pitchers. Yes.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Especially starters. We don't have a starting
Yeah,
rotation.
yeah.
Even if you get Reese Olson back, which I
Yep.
think he is back now.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so you got
But I
Reese.
think they're being careful with him.
Right, so
Yeah.
you got Skubal, Reese.
Yeah.
Is Montero really ready to be a number three?
He didn't make the playoff roster, which I was kind of surprised
Right,
by.
and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
we can't just keep doing bullpen games, even though it does work for us. But
Yeah, it's
maybe
not,
we look for a veteran pitcher, and maybe I don't know who a veteran player would be because now it makes sense. Now I don't want to block anybody.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, you are going to be. I think now that Job is on the team now, I don't expect him to go back to AAA next year. Maybe, but if not, he's back probably within a couple months.
Yeah.
So he is going to be here. That's going to depend if they use him as a starter or if they use him as a bullpen guy, which they've been doing right now. So
Yeah.
he will be on this team. It's just going to depend on where they slate him. But yeah, no, I 100% agree.
I think we need a veteran pitcher,
Yeah.
starting pitcher, and a veteran reliever.
Yep.
And
I would agree with that.
Let's see. I mean, I know we keep bringing up Bregman, but maybe third base is the position that we need a veteran. Not necessarily Bregman. He would be a great addition, but maybe that's what we're looking for, right? And you don't know what's going to happen next year, right? I mean, these kids are on a magical run. Is Sweeney our new shortstop? Right? Is he there to stay? Is Colt Keith the second baseman? And is Torque our is this what the lineup's going to look like? And you just don't know, and it's so hard to tell right now because they are doing so well.
Yeah.
But right, you try to be realistic. Like, is this the team? And I kind of like the idea that we're so young and we have control over all their contracts. So this team could stay together for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be honest. I'm not. I would. On paper, I'd love to bring Bregman in. I love the idea of bringing a former Hinch player. a winner. I don't like the idea of shifting the infield around, having Young lose his spot. I really like the nucleus of this team, and I think that would be maybe a little bit reckless.
And that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Earlier this year made sense. Why didn't you go
yeah.
get so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to block anybody. Well, okay, well, we're not that good. We could have had
Right,
we had
yeah.
a decent amount of talent that if you would have went and got some of these veterans, maybe we wouldn't have had to fight so hard for this playoff chase. But now I don't want to block these kids.
No, for
now I
sure.
want them here.
Yeah,
now
it's crazy
I
how-
agree. Now it's like, oh, Scott Harris,
Right.
There's a method to his mayhem.
Sure, yeah. It's crazy how quick perspective.
It does.
Yeah, how quick perspective changes.
You know,
with a little bit of winning.
We're bashing them for not doing this, and now we're like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and now it's like, wow, do we even need a veteran
Right,
on the infield? Pitching,
Yeah.
yes, but on the infield, outfield, do we really need one?
right.
Who knows?
I guess if
that's
you're
all,
gonna,
obviously that's
next year. I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
yeah,
but
we kind of got
It's
off
fun,
there.
but no, it's
no,
fun.
it
to
is
talk
fun
about.
because these are questions that you have to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's just it's crazy now, the perspective of the team
Well-
compared to where we were at, because now if this team does not, let's just say the team does not get it done, and it's going to be, the reason why is going to be because they are just maybe one player short. It's not going to be because they, you know what I mean, they need this whole rebuild or whatever. Like, no, they're close. They are very close.
yeah. Well, what they're doing right now, okay, let's just say worst case scenario, we go out and we just get blown out by the Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a highly successful season. Again, from
Gotcha.
what we did, we're not supposed to be here. So it doesn't matter what you go all the way or you lose tomorrow. It was a successful season, and you can't be mad at anyway, which I think that's why it leads us into this conversation of what are we going to do next year, because we're playing with house money right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And what it does is this is also setting expectations high for next year.
Mm-hmm.
If this is what we can do right now, and within 45 games,
Yep.
right, after the trade deadline and all that, and coming together as a team, what can we do with a full season with this team, and
Right.
maybe a couple added pieces? So
Well, in 45 games, like I think people are like on this this high of like, oh, the Tigers just got hot. 45 games, that's
more than hot.
That's quarter of your season,
Right.
And that's carrying into the playoffs. So okay, maybe this team is just
hot is 8 out of 10.
Right, well, like
Hot,
you named
12 games in a row.
You named those other teams that got hot winning the World Series and then won it. Like, what did you say? I mean, maybe we were like 20-10. You know what I mean? Or like 18-8 or whatever you said. But no, the Tigers were 32-12 going into the playoffs. Like, no, that's
That's more than hot.
more than hot. Like, this team is playing very
Imagine
good
starting
baseball.
your season out 30-12.
Right. Oh yeah, you just go 500 the rest of the way.
And you start out 30-12. One's like, oh, they're just hot right now. No, they're one of the best teams in baseball right now. That's what it is. And
Didn't the sorry to cut you off.
No,
The 80. I know I'm not trying to like compare really, but just to give you, because I only know these stats. The 35-5 84 Tigers. Okay, they started 30 games over 500. They played 500 ball the rest of the way and still went on the World Series. You know what I mean? So it's just
you set yourself up to be able to just kind of not coast, but like, all right,
Exactly.
we got to go. We had to finish. You know how much harder it is to finish 30-12 than to start 30-12?
yeah. I mean, look at the Twins, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Now, I will say because Tigers did an amazing job. 30-12 is huge. You can't take anything away. But the Twins falling off just this cliff, they just drove right off the side of a cliff. I mean, that helped us too, because if they would have just played 500 ball
Yeah.
through the stretch, we wouldn't even have been close too.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Yeah. Thank you,
Minnesota, for
Yep.
just
Yep. But you know what?
but that's baseball.
That's what's great about
That's
sports,
baseball.
man. You can, you just got to play the games because you just never know what's gonna happen, and that's what they did.
I saw this meme, and it was really funny. It was like one of those Midwest memes, and it has Kansas City and Minnesota players standing right next to each other, and it's this Tigers goes, "Oop, just gonna squeeze on past here."
Pretty much.
Don't mind me, just gonna squeeze on past.
Yep. Or how about the video you sent too, where it was from the Wedding Crash, or no, the Hangover.
Oh yeah.
The two guys in the front seat.
It had
and the
the
guy,
Houston Astro logo on him.
and then there was a tiger in the back seat ready to
Just
maul
wakes
him.
up and scares the shit out
Yep,
of him. Yeah.
yep. Oh, God.
I'm telling you, man, we're a scary team right now. You cannot mess with us. Cleveland, you should be petrified of us.
All right, well,
I don't care if you're better on paper or not. Watch out.
All right, well, let's kind of get into Cleveland a little bit because we got them on Saturday. I'll be honest.
Bieber's going first.
Is he? Okay, this is what I was wanting to get into because I know you watch a lot more baseball outside of the Tigers than I do. Give me some of your key points with Cleveland and things that the Tigers fans should be kind of looking at and seeing matchups, blah, blah, blah. Give me some of your...
I think it's similar to these teams that were coming in. There are a lot of big-name players, just like going into Houston, right? You had Altuve and Caratini, right? Going in here, right, you got Bieber, that's Shane Bieber that's going to pitch against. But him and Skubal match up. Nice. That's why we need Skubal to go on Saturday to match
up with him,
Bieber, because he's their ace, right? You got to watch out for Jose Ramirez, right? I mean, he's a big bat, but it's kind of hard, especially after seeing what the Tigers did. Like, they're not afraid of these guys, right? But they have big bats, right? They're gonna come at you. They can smack you right in the face. They hit a lot of home runs, right? It's something that our pitching has to be worried about. But so does Houston,
right?
Right. So did Baltimore when we were beating them. Right. I mean,
on paper or just kind of looking at it, like who had the better offense? Would have been Houston or Cleveland? Did you think, or do you think?
I think this year, definitely Cleveland.
Cleveland's got the better offense.
I think they finally got. I mean, we didn't even know Cleveland was going to be a good team this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back. You pull our receipts from the beginning of the year. Was it this year we were saying Tigers are going to be challenging the White Sox?
Yeah, probably.
Right? Or no, the Twins. They said we were going to challenge the Twins.
Twins won it last year, I think.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
Not the White Sox. Forgive me.
Right.
Talk about a dumpster fire.
Woo-wee.
Anyways, we were like, they're going to challenge the Twins for the division. Maybe we'll get into the wild card. So we were right. We said they were going to make the playoffs. We didn't. We also fell off, got back on, fell off.
Right. Again, and having 3 out of the 4 having 3 out of the 4 teams in the AL be from the Central. Like who could have predicted that? Because we said the division was going to be awful, and we were wrong.
I'm sorry. I got to correct myself. It was not Bieber it's BB.
Oh, okay.
Bieber is on the IL.
Okay.
That's why I was getting confused.
No problem. I appreciate you correcting that. Okay.
Similar names, right?
Yeah.
Because they probably both call them Biebs. But I'm looking at their lineup. I mean, these guys got a lot of good.
So they got good
players.
They got some offense. Okay.
They got Austin Hedges as their catcher. I mean, he's good. Oh, Josh Naylor. That's the guy I was trying to think of, their first baseman.
Okay.
They're a stacked team.
And I know from what I've heard too, they got a good pitching staff, good bullpen.
They do. It's going to be, I think, a pitching duel all Saturday and then all next week when we play them.
So a lot of what we saw from the Houston series is just going to come down to probably some big hits, key pitching, and you cannot make any defensive miscues. Really, just
and I didn't really get to watch Cleveland a lot this year because we just don't get to watch them. But I have been watching a ton of this playoff baseball, which I really like to see. And Kansas City, I think New York should watch out for Kansas City.
Well, think about this, and I think that's a good point. Like Kansas City just went in and won
2 in a row.
They swept from Baltimore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they're kind of coming in hot. Like Kansas City, they struggled a little bit, but then I think towards the end of the season they kind of came back on like the last few games, and obviously in the playoffs now they just took out Baltimore. And New York and Cleveland both have not played in. At this point, it'll be almost a week, right?
Almost a week, which we know from the past of any of our Detroit teams.
Yep.
That much time off is a long time.
That's a long time in baseball.
Especially in baseball when you're playing every day. You only get, I think, 3 or 4 days off a month.
Right.
Like during the regular season.
Yeah. Yep.
And here you go. You're going to take a whole week off and then go in and you go playing these 2 teams. I mean, let's be real. Kansas City finished pretty decent too, right? They're I wouldn't say as strong as us right now with the run that we went on, but watch out for them. And you know what? And if we have to say we beat Cleveland, we got to play the Yankees.
Bring them
on. Yeah. We got their number in the playoffs. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of no Yankees.
No, that'd be a cool matchup again. let's get through this Cleveland series and then.
Well, how about we have 3. Okay, back to that's what I was getting at with our receipts from the beginning of the year. Central sucks, right? We're not a good.
Yeah.
We got 3 teams going on to the ALDS.
Right. Yeah.
I no way I would have ever guessed that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's always the East. The East is always putting in 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exciting to see that at least our division is in it. So, but I'm not scared of any team. We'll play anybody. We have nothing to lose.
No.
Don't let the Tigers get hot.
No, don't let them get hot. AJ said it. No, and Jake Rogers, got to give him credit too. But yeah, no, well, all right. So, what are your predictions for this Cleveland series? Obviously, I assume you're thinking they're going to win, but what do you like? How many games? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I might be a little biased. I'm thinking we win in 4.
4 games, yeah.
I think we win in 4 games. My prediction would be we get the win Saturday with Skubal. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 2-1 victory. I mean, you got BB and Skubal going. I mean, I would not expect a lot of offense.
No.
It's going to be a pitching matchup.
Yeah, no, I think if whatever game Skubal pitches, whether it's that first or second game, we got to get that one. And the only thing is I kind of hope he pitches that first game. Or actually, no, I take that back. I hope he pitches the second game because the first game, I think Cleveland's going to come in rusty. I think that's going to work to our advantage. And
that's a good point.
And if he can pitch that second game, and if we could somehow squeak out, those first 2, Cleveland coming in rusty. And the thing is too, all right, so we play Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's almost a week since Cleveland has played, right? And then they take a day off, and then we play again Monday. So like, I just kind of wonder if Cleveland's going to have any type of, I don't know, rhythm or just.
And that you bring up a good point because that's a lot of time off.
It is.
And then you come in and you get another day off.
Right.
So, okay, let's just go what I was thinking. Skubal pitches Saturday, right? I see what you're saying Monday, but this is what I was already kind of thinking. Skubal comes in Saturday. We get the win Saturday. We lose on Monday. And then we come home to Detroit.
Win the next 2.
And we win the next 2 in a row.
So it goes 2-2-1, right? For home and away?
Yeah. 2-2-1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you predicting? What do you got?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go. I think they're gonna win it in 5. I think it's gonna come down to the last game. I was leaning towards 4, but I think what's gonna happen is that the Guardians are gonna struggle the first couple of games, but then I think they're gonna steal one at home. Or I'm sorry, they're gonna steal one on the road. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised they steal 2, and then we come back to Cleveland and take the last one.
Okay, so you're thinking we win.
I think it's
we win in Cleveland and lose at home.
I think it's possible. I think we could split. We're going to split the first 2, split again the next 2 at home, and then win in Cleveland. I mean, we just won in Houston, so it's not a big deal to us. But
no, these teams will play anywhere. Have you looked up tickets?
I seen it was 130 for standing room only.
That's just to walk in the door. I was looking because my mom brought it up. She was like, "Hey, see how much tickets are?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And like this is just off StubHub and actually check Ticketmaster too. Lower bowl, like decent seats, right? Like off the third baseline, like even 20 rows back, right? Good seats. $300.
Woo!
I mean, it was like $265. You add in the fees, right? You're at $300. I was like, Mom, you really ready to spend $1,200 on one game?
Wow. Yeah.
Now this is even crazier. So a buddy and I at work yesterday, we were looking up these tickets, and I'm like, okay, that's just not worth it. I'd rather sit at home with family and friends on the couch.
Yeah.
Right? Watch the game, see everything. We look up the Houston game yesterday. And if they were to go on to the next series, yesterday's game, to get in the door, $10.
What?
I swear to God, $10. Saturday, if they would have beat us and went on to the next round, $18.
Come on, really?
Yeah. Then I looked up, I forgot what was the other team. I looked up another team. I think it was.
It'd be cheaper just to go buy a plane ticket and go down there.
That's what we said. We're sitting there. I'm like, look up a plane ticket.
Right.
We're going to hop on a plane right now, go spend $15 on a ticket. But yeah, I was just like blown away.
Wow.
By how cheap the tickets were for Houston. And there was another team. I can't remember. I think it was either Milwaukee or San Diego. It was like $40.
Oh, wow.
That's
crazy.
That's what I said. I was like, really? This was off StubHub.
Yeah.
$10 to get in the door for a playoff game?
Well, I think it goes.
You're not a baseball city if
yeah.
you.
Well, for one, did you notice Like there were a lot of Tigers fans in Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean you heard them. You
Well,
heard
I mean, it
the
was
cheers.
hard to point them out because we're both blue and
It's
orange.
the same color, same colors. But I think it just goes to show you that like you provide us a winner and you provide us a gritty team that plays well together. Like we're gonna come support you. Because I mean, I bought tickets right when this run started. I took the boys to a game. We may or may not have snuck out of work and school. Don't tell anybody. Tickets were
That's the best way to do it.
Tickets were $2 a piece. I swear to God, yeah.
Yeah.
For like service fees and everything for the three of us, it was $21 total. So yeah,
That's crazy. That's awesome.
it was cool.
That's a deal right there.
You're right. But at the time, we weren't really that excited. It was just like, okay, let's just get the boys down there before the end of the season and before school started. And
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
or no, I'm sorry, they just went back to school. So it was Anyways,
Well, I told that story early in our podcast journey. One of my favorite memories, sports memories, is my dad pulling me out of school for opening day.
yeah, that's you kind of
They'll never forget that.
yeah. No, you inspired me to do that, and that's a true
It's
story.
one day.
Yeah.
It's one day, and you
It's
made
fine.
a
Yeah,
memory
it's fine.
forever.
Right.
Right? Even if you did it once a year,
Yeah.
you make a memory forever with the kids. And
Right.
and that because I still think about it to this day. My dad
Oh, for
pulling
sure.
me out of school.
I remember going on a Tiger Stadium with my dad too, and I seeing Mickey Tettleton
Oh,
up
yeah.
in person hit home runs. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So that was good times, man.
All right,
Good
so
times.
you got the Tigers in 5. I got the Tigers in 4.
Yep.
Saturday 108 is the first game.
Yep.
I'm pumped, man. I can't wait.
For sure.
Can't
Yeah,
wait. I
good
can't wait to
sports
start running
weekend.
around my living room and hooting and hollering like I was the other day. It's gonna be a good time.
I know. Let me ask you this. What obviously game 2 you want them to clinch it, but which game, either 1 or 2, which one were you gave you the most stress? Like which one worked you
Against
up the most?
Houston?
Yeah.
Game 1? Good Lord.
That ninth inning?
The 9th inning.
Okay. Yeah.
There's just some about it. I mean, we're up 3-0 and you're like, and you know what I don't like is I don't know if you noticed on the scoreboard on right above it, and it's real small. They have the
Win probability?
Take that off, okay? Take that off, because I'm watching it. We're entering the 9th inning. 94% Detroit,
Yeah.
82% Detroit,
Right.
75% Detroit. Because Houston's starting to rally, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
get that off. That's making me even more nervous, right? Because sometimes you're like, sweet, with 90% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the Tigers. 0.2. Look what they did with 0.2.
That's right, baby.
Look what they did with 0.2.
0.2%.
Okay, so that drives me nuts. But no, that and just because, and bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. I mean, I'm just pacing in my living room, back and forth, right? Just like heavy breathing, just like, oh God, just get this last out, get this last out. So that made me stressful. And then on the second game, I think I wasn't more stressed in the first game, but I was more stressed in the middle of the game when Houston tied it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, because they are a team that can
Sure.
turn the bats on.
Yeah, for sure.
But once Ibanez hit that base clearing triple,
Yeah.
I was relieved.
Yeah.
And you said it. They looked defeated, and I think it was like, let's just go get these 6 outs.
But they panned to and his name escapes me. Houston's closer after
Yeah.
he got yanked, and then you just saw him looking like he just saw, like you said, he saw a ghost. Like, and you could just kind of tell after that, like they just had nothing. They're like, all right, enough. You know what I mean? Like,
this is it. Our time
can't break
on this
this
run
team.
is
right. We can't break this team. Enough's enough. So that was
Which game gave you the most stress?
that definitely that 9th inning. But I'll be honest, I was pretty frustrated and with that Job coming in the 7th inning, 1-0. I just kind of the game was shaping up to be one of those like 1-0 type of game. Like you're just gonna have to grit your teeth, hold on for dear life, and just get through this one. And when they brought Job in, I was just like, oh my God, like this is not the time to bring this kid in. I get it, I really do.
I'm honestly surprised he's even on the roster for the playoffs.
I think I was a little bit too, and then they left Montero off.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because he pitched pretty well down the
He
stretch.
did.
Yeah,
And-
so
and-
it must have been a matchup thing that Kinch saw or
Again,
whatever. Yeah,
I'm not questioning Hinch.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not questioning him.
Right.
Right. I have my thoughts, but who am I?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Hinch is clearly a
Yeah.
mastermind at doing this.
Yep. So
All right, you wanna close this out with our studs and duds of the
I think
of the weeks?
Let's do it, man.
All right, we'll start with studs first. You want to go ahead and give me your stud of the week?
I'm gonna go with Will Vest.
Solid choice.
He is a joy to watch pitch. That first game, I think he faced 5 batters.
Yeah,
and he, 4 of them were shopping at K. Like he's literally just like, nope. You guys aren't
done.
Yep,
You're done.
Yep. And then the second game, he had to pitch again too. You know what I mean? He's a strikeout machine. I don't know where this kid came from or what they did to him.
Right.
But he comes in, he throws heat, he keeps the ball down, and teams cannot hit him. He has been an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah,
so that's my
he's
stud.
fun. I like that. That's a good one.
Yep.
My stud is I'm going to give it to AJ Hinch.
Yeah.
What he's done with this team, even just through this series,
Yep.
again, we may question his decisions. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He got this team. They listen to him. They're all behind him.
Yep.
Right. He is in total control.
You know who hired him? Al Avila. I'm not jumping on an Al Avila bandwagon. I don't want him back. I'm glad they fired him, but I'm just sorry.
Give the credit where it's due.
Yeah.
I mean,
But no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. But yeah, AJ Hinch, everything he's done, and I'm not
Manager of
even
the year.
talking about the last 45 games, right? I'm just talking about this last week with getting us into the playoffs here and doing what he did against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And going into Houston as his old team, and our buddy pointed out on the text message, and when they asked him, so how's it feel to beat your old team? He goes, ain't baseball great?
Yeah, dude, he can get stud for just his freaking quotes, man, and his celebrations after clinching and stuff.
Oh, I
That's
could,
just-
yeah, listen to his speeches all day long.
yeah.
All right, who do you got for a dud?
Well, this is kind of like a broader umbrella type of whatever, but it's going to be the MLB in general. For one, like, why do we have playoff baseball at 2:30? You're like, come on, like, okay, so
Don't you know we have 9 to 5s, or
Right.
most people have 9 to 5s?
well, let's say like you're a Tigers fan in California, you got a 11:30. I'm gonna take my lunch break, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean, or like MLB, and then the Strauss on the side of the helmets. Like, come on, really? Do we really?
yeah.
Like, what is Strauss? Okay, sorry, Merlo. I know you just ordered some pants from there. That's awesome. Real quick, our buddy, we were kind of talking about in our group chat, and I said, "What the heck is Strauss?" And then our buddy was like, "Well, they're actually kind of nice pants." And I'm like, "I got some on order." So
Yeah, but get them off the side of our
right,
helmets.
we don't want them on the helmets. And then the announcers, like, have you guys watched any Tigers games?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They couldn't even talk to the players.
They didn't even know what. Yeah, they like. It's like the scene in Major League where it's just like they're looking at the people like, who the F are these guys? So I'm gonna go with MLB. They just need to do a better job with just marketing the sport. Like, it's an awesome sport. Playoff baseball is awesome. Just do a better job.
And I can understand. They want everybody to watch all the games that are on because it's going to happen next week.
Right. They don't want them to overlap, I guess. I get it in a sense.
But at the same time, like, is it that bad if they're overlapping? Like, there can't be too many people that are out there like myself that get home from work, and I get home early, right?
Yeah.
I watched the Tigers game start to finish because I get home early enough from work. But there's not too many people like me that watch the first game, the second game, the third game, the fourth game. Like,
Yeah, right.
Most people just want to watch their home team. So why can't we do a game at 5:30, 6:30, and then the West Coast, 8:30, 9:30? Like, yeah, they overlap, but like, what are the chances that all these people are watching all the games?
Well, and obviously they really tell you what they think about the Tigers by scheduling them at 2:30.
But then next week we get the 4:00 games, and I think there's a 2:00 games before us.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we at least get the midday games.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's got to be Kansas City and the Yankees that are playing.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Early.
You're right.
Right.
Oh, that's kind of surprising, I guess, because
I mean, I guess I'd have to look at the schedule, but 4:00 is way a lot better.
that's a lot. I'm fine with that. That's fine with me.
At least you get people are getting home, and even if you get home from work a little bit later, you're coming in the third inning or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2:30, you get off of work at 5, and you have no option to watch or listen to the game at work.
right.
You miss both games.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's a good dud.
All right. Give me your dud.
Okay, so I know we've been talking baseball. I'm going a little bit away from baseball. And my dud, I'm giving it to Tom Gorse, the owner of the Pistons. And the reason is, one, I don't even think he knows where Detroit's located. All right, he doesn't even know that.
What are you talking about, Mike? I've seen him on the side of the court bashing cocktails and jumping up and down.
Oh yeah. Guy never comes here, doesn't know anything about basketball, buys this team, and the reason I'm giving him the dud of the week is because he goes and he gets a minority stake in the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
He lives in LA. He doesn't come out to Detroit to support the team or give our general managers any help with money and things like that. Make trades, do whatever, and then he goes and buys part of the Chargers. Like, he's clearly in it, and I'm not mad at you for wanting to make money.
Yeah.
But, like, come on. I feel like if you're to own a sports team, you want to get some wins, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the point? Like, you're going to make money no matter what. I don't think sports teams really lose money.
Well, yeah, he's hopping on the.
He's riding the coattails.
Yeah, for sure. He's just looking to make money. It just kind of clearly shows you where his.
You're just not. My thing is,
Where he lies.
and I'm talking a lot of shit about it. You don't care about the team that you already are a majority stakeholder in. You don't contribute anything. You're never here, and then you go and buy part of another team. I just like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, it'll
Like,
be
you don't
interesting.
care.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how he purchased that. Did he use Platinum Equity, or I mean, like are they affiliated with it, or is it just him? Like, and obviously the Chargers moving to LA. You know, they're playing in. I think they're playing in Sophie Stadium, right? Or
Yeah, they're
SoFi or
split.
whatever.
Yeah, them and the
and they
Rams
just
are split.
hired Harbaugh. There's a lot of buzz around with them, and you know he's probably, like you said, he's riding the coattails of that. Then he's probably going to sell his stake for $1 billion more than he paid, and then
Oh, of course.
then that's it is what it is. So
Exactly.
yeah, he's not looked too fondly here right now. But no, that's a good one. And when you told me that before the show, I was actually pretty surprised, and because I knew it was gonna be a baseball heavy show, but I'm like, wow, that's a really good one.
Well, I agree with everything you said with the broadcast, but I was really thinking about it. And that had just happened.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's a
I
good
know it's
one.
not baseball, but I really didn't have anybody else in baseball that I mean.
No, that's a no. I think it's a
So
good
Tom Gores, yeah, that's you're my dud of the week, and so
one. He deserves it.
so do better with your teams.
Yep. Come on now.
Come on now. I think that's about wraps it up.
Let's wrap up this episode, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Go Tigers! 1:00 on Saturday's game 1 against
Yep.
Cleveland.
Yep.
Let's go get them.
Let's go get them. Support your baseball team.
Don't let the Tigers get hot.
That's right.
All
Too
right,
late.
We love you guys. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
Enjoy
Cheers.
your weekend.